industry news to mobile technology leaks and rumors. We cover tomorrow's tech news today. eSIM Tech News.
Yeah. Woo.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back. Good afternoon. Sorry, I got a head cold today. It is, shoot, I don't even know what day it is. It is Tuesday, December 17th. I want to welcome everybody in on this afternoon. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. It's been a really overcast day here. It's rained like 4 days straight, which is very odd, very rare for South Texas. So the mold is high and just a cloudy, dreary day, but not a dreary day in tech news, I can tell you that. We're going to get into, let's see, we have Apple news, we have Samsung news, and I believe that's it. Let's pull up, let's go ahead and jump into it. No need to waste any more time. Let's see here. I got some really surprising news. So let me share my screen. If you want to get all the information that we're talking about, simply go to esimstudios.com. Link in the description. Let's present the share screen, and we will go right here. Okay. So here is esimstudios.com, right? Now, this is really, so we got two Apple and one Samsung. Samsung's kind of a, well, we'll get into it, but check this out. iPhone 16e. Say, well, what the hell is that? iPhone 16e. So apparently, Apple is going to drop the SE name from their lineup, and they're gonna release the upcoming iPhone SE4 as the iPhone 16e. Now, I did a lot of digging around to try to see why they are going to change this name. Does not make any sense to me. I'm thinking now, here's what they're going to need to do. I think they made the name change, so it's not going to be released as the SE. It's going to be SE4. It's going to be released as the 16e. So I think what they wanted to do is get the model lined up with the current flagship models. So you have these 16 series, and then you had the SE series in the past. Now, that was not released on a yearly basis. Last one that was released was in 2022. So roughly when this new one gets released, it'd be 3 years since they released the previous one. I think here's what's going to happen. If they when they release this iPhone 16e, I think it's going to become a yearly release, I believe. Nothing has been said, no behind the scenes rumors, news, information in regards to a yearly release. But why would you call it an iPhone 16e? And then they go sporadically, like, so the last SE was released in 2022. The last one, the SE3, the last one before that was 2020. And then I think the one before that was what? 2018? Something like that. So they release them every 2 to 3 years. So check this out. If they release this iPhone 16e this upcoming year, and then they wait another 2 to 3 years to release, the iPhone 17e, well, if you go to their current flagships, they're going to be on, if you wait 3 years and you call the next one the iPhone 17e, your flagship series would be on, the numbers would get mixed up. So this year would be the iPhone 16 series, then you'd have 17, 18. So if they stick with a 2 to 3 year release cycle, it wouldn't make sense to do it every 2 to 3 years, because by the time you're getting ready to release the iPhone 17e or iPhone SE5, your flagship series would be on iPhone 18 series. So you'd have the 17e and the 18 series. The numbers get mixed up. So I think what they're going to do is launch this on a yearly release cycle. Now, the very popular device, this is sort of their Pixel A series, right? Pixel 7a, 8a, 9a upcoming. Sort of their watered down, cheaper version, more inexpensive version. Same thing with Nothing, right? With their Nothing Phone 2a. So I think if they keep this on a yearly release cycle, they sell a ton of these. So I think that's what they're going to do. Now, again, I don't have any real good solid info on why they did this, but that's the only thing that makes sense to me, is they want to get it on the yearly release cycle, and it's actually easier for them to just internally to have it a similar naming scheme to your flagship series, just with a off variant like a E on the end or an A for Google. Now, I wish Google, that their release date is staggered, and for the A series, for their cheaper series, and I don't know if Apple's going to do the same thing. This one's coming out after the 16 series. Obviously, the 16 series is already here, but down the road in the future, is Apple going to release the iPhone 17e with the iPhone 17s, meaning like on the same day? Or is it going to be staggered? So you'll get an iPhone 17 release next year, and then 6 months later you'll get the 17e, and then 6 months after that you'll get a iPhone 18 series, and then 6 months after that you get an iPhone 18e. That's sort of what Google does. Now, it's kind of annoying. Google releases their flagship series in the summer. Damn it, activated my Google. And then they will launch their A series in May, something like that. So like basically every 6 months, you'll get a flagship release. 6 months after that, you'll get a mid-range release. I wish they would release everything all at once. I don't know, makes it easier. But that is what we get. That is what we got from Apple today. So, I'm trying to think. I believe that's all the info. Everything I could find, I got down here. I wrote down the publication on esimstudios.com, right? So that's what we have right now, so to speak. Now, just to refresh your memory, this new 16e, it's going to be hard to remember, is basically an iPhone 14 series, just rebranded. It's going to have the same chassis, same mid-frame, the same display. Now, it's only going to have one camera sensor. The iPhone 14, the base model, had obviously two sensors up there. I was about to say this SE. It's going to take a while. This iPhone 16e is going to have one sensor. Should have a flagship CPU. However, they are going to keep that tradition of putting in their flagship CPU. Now, it's not going to be what comes in the 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max, but even the iPhone 16 that has a less powerful processor than the Pro and the Pro Max, even that CPU is flagship. Like, it's very powerful. So they are going to put the same processor you can get in the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus is going to be equipped in this new iPhone SE 16e model. It'll have a decent, I think it's 6.2 inch display. It'll have Face ID. It'll be a decent entry-level iPhone, right? I think they're going to keep it right at, or right under, should I say, $500. So I think starting price is going to be $499. And I think there's only going to be one storage variant. I would be surprised to see two. It's not out of the question, but you'll probably see a one storage variant, possibly two. But you get a decent amount for $499. So again, you can't increase the price too much, because then you infringe on your flagship series. But more info on eSIMstudios.com. Check this out. Since we're speaking about Apple, oh boy, man, the drama and the lawsuits keep on coming. Now, normally you'll see a lot of the EU countries file charges against Apple for monopoly. Well, that's in the US, but the EU has been known in the last few years to slap Apple across the face with fines and claiming that Apple is voiding regulations, right? Well, now the Democratic Republic of Congo, that's correct, in Africa, has filed criminal complaints against Apple in France and Belgium, accusing them of accusing them of using conflict materials in their supply chain, of using, you've heard of the term blood diamond, correct? Where basically these jewelry companies use slave labor basically to source their diamonds, right? So they'll use kids and stuff to work 20 hours a day and pay them pennies per day to find millions of dollars worth of diamonds, right? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And shame on those companies if I know that stuff still goes on. Not a good thing at all. It's good that we're kind of getting rid of that slave labor. God, what a bad deal. But this is sort of the same deal. Now, obviously not with diamonds or jewelry, but it's the same premises, the same idea, just with technology, right? So the allegations claim that Apple is complicit in handling stolen goods and that their practices cover up war crimes, while Apple maintains that they do not directly source those minerals and conducts regular audits. The complaints specifically target Apple in France, Apple Retail France, and Apple Retail in Belgium. And judicial authorities in these countries will decide whether to further investigate and potentially bring criminal charges. So the complaints assert that Apple is involved in the handling of stolen goods and the laundering of materials acquired through armed conflicts in the region. Congo, significant source of tin, which is a metal, right? Aluminum, tungsten, also known as 3T minerals, which are utilized in computers and mobile devices. They claim that Apple is utilizing these minerals that have been illicitly extracted from its territories and subsequently laundered via international supply chains. The allegations are directed at Apple, yes, Apple France, Apple Belgium. So, as you know, Apple is on maybe a long road, but they're on that road to where they want to own and manufacture 100% of the phone, right? It's a very tall task, very hard to do, because sure, they might make and design their own CPU now the modem, the RAM, the storage, what have you. But those are just a handful of parts that go into complete an iPhone, right? There's probably, I forgot the number. There was over 300. I used to repair phones, but it was a little while ago. I think it was 330 individual parts that go into making up a phone, and that was like, shoot, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, right? It's probably more, maybe less, but you get the idea. There's over 300 individual, and that's including each screw, each the motherboard, the CPU, the vibration motor, the speaker, the sensors, the camera lenses, everything from the display to the back to the mid-frame, everything, takes over 300 pieces to complete a phone. Out of those 300, let's just say 330, out of those 330 pieces or parts or materials, how many of those does Apple actually own themselves, right? Probably it's a small percentage. Probably, I don't know. Out of 330, probably 50, something like that. Meaning they own them. They own the parts. Meaning they supply the parts themselves. And now they may have a manufacturer like TSMC who puts the CPU together, but Apple's the owner of that part, and they are in charge of sourcing those materials. Now, in the components that they don't own, that they don't use to build up the iPhone, they have to go find a source, right? So, like, I'm trying to relate it to this story. So, if there's tungsten, right? What do they use tungsten for? Let's say to in part of the motherboard, right? So they need this motherboard. Apple has partners they work with, like or a vibration motor. That's a good example. The little tiny thing that rotates. What if that's made of tungsten? Well, they need to find a supplier who can just supply them those little parts. But what Apple's being accused of is knowing that those parts that they source, that little vibration motor, and I'm just using that as an example, but they're being accused of, they know that tungsten that makes up that little vibration motor is being sourced by slave labor, right? Kind of like that's how I compared it to the blood diamonds in the beginning. Same thing, right? They're being accused of knowing that these people are literally getting paid pennies every day, and it's a human rights violation, honestly. It's interesting that the allegations are directed at Apple France and Apple in Belgium. These entities are concealing war crimes and partaking in misleading commercial practices. France and Belgium were reportedly selected due to their perceived commitment to corporate accountability. Apple maintains it does not directly source primary minerals and conducts regular audits of its suppliers. In a 2023 SEC filing, the company asserted that none of its suppliers of 3T minerals or gold have funded or benefited armed groups in Congo or neighboring nations. Wow. It sounds like there's more to this story. Now, the reason why they could be going after Apple France and Apple Belgium, quite honestly, what if they have the weakest legal team for Apple? What if that's the easiest route for the Democratic Republic of Congo to seek a win in the court? Now, I'm not saying they're just making up, that Congo is making up these charges. And I think it's the government of Congo. because they own those. I believe they own the mining regions there where the civilians work. What if they see? There's a bunch of like behind the scenes stuff that we are unaware of, that it could very easily be why they're going through this avenue of courts, right, rather than going through the U.S. courts, right? They know if they go through the U.S. courts, they'll probably get shut out. But maybe, just maybe, look, and I'm not saying this is the case. There's a lot of corruption around the world, a lot. We think we deal with some of it here in the U.S. Doesn't even compare to some of these other countries. Now, again, I'm not accusing anybody of doing anything. I'm just saying that could be a possibility. Or maybe they know somebody that knows somebody that's getting a kickback here and a kickback there. And it goes all the way up to the judicial department in France or the judicial department in Belgium. And that's why they're filing those charges in those two countries, because they know they'll get a ruling in favor of them. And then obviously Apple's the biggest company in the world, and say, what's a $15-20 million fine to Apple? It's nothing, right? Well, it is sort of. So, well, it definitely is. What am I talking about? So, interesting turn of events here. Not much information. Now, I know this just came out. Subscribe if you want to. Look, I'm not going to give y'all daily updates on this, but I'm going to see what happens, right? Is it going to get thrown out? Is Apple going to be ruled responsible? How much did they know? How much did they not know? I think everybody knows, but it is up to Apple, being a United States company, having standards, now these people that source these minerals, again, are not employees. These are not employees of Apple. But Apple is sort of held to a standard of a morality clause, right? Or a ethics clause. It's not ethical to source your parts from slave labor. I mean, Nike got blasted, what was it, back in the 90s for that? And they had to change their ways, right? So, look, it is what it is. It's unfortunate if this is true, but make sure you subscribe to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel, and I'll keep an eye on this, and we'll see kind of where this goes, right? Let me pull up. Let me see here for the last one. Hang on one second. S25 Plus. We got a good look, what was it, last week at the S25 Ultra, right? It looks like the S24 Plus. The corners are rounded. Just looks like a little bigger S24 Plus with an S Pen. Well, now we get to see what the S25 looks like. S25 Plus looks like. And the S25 and S25 Plus are identical in the way they look. One's just bigger than the other. So this will essentially be what the smaller S25 will look like as well. It'll just be a little smaller in size. But no big shocker here. Basically the same. Check this out. So we got, and I have individual photos here because this kind of blocks it out. But actually, let me do that. Let me go to the other photos. Let's see. Damn, my internet, I don't know why, has been jacked up today. Now, they have stuff blurred out They have stickers on here. There's no IMEI. They got, they're trying to hide their identity of who leaked this. But look, what did I tell you? Look in the background. Looks like some sort of office where they're printing labels, some sort of manufacturer. So it looks like they got a usable phone that they have to return to Samsung so they can make cases. So my guesses, my estimations are right that a lot of these Samsung leaks are coming from case manufacturers. At least that's what I'm getting out of it. But let's look at it from the back and from the side, because it looks like nothing's changed, right? So here's the back. You got your 3 camera setup, and even the flash is in the same spot, isn't it? Yep. Now the cameras look a little wider, don't they? Check this out. You see those cameras? Look at this. Those look, can't get it in the right lighting. Maybe that's the only difference. The cameras on the new one look a little more spaced out. Let's see. Yeah, they do. They appear to be a little wider apart. You get that third and final look right here. Damn, my internet's slow. It basically looks the same. Let's see what this one looks like. You know why they did that, right? It just hit me. The power button and the volume rocker looks a hair wider, meaning the buttons are spaced out a little more. And the cameras sensors are spaced out a little more. You know why they did that, right? So the case from the S24 Plus or the accessories do not fit on the S20. So you can't use a case for a S24 Plus and use it on the S25 Plus. Now, ironically, Samsung keeps the tablets exactly the same. You can use a case for the Tab S10 Ultra, the very best tablet you can buy. You can use a case from the Tab S8 Ultra. It's same design, everything exactly the same. So you can kind of save a few bucks if you got the new Tab S10 Ultra. You can go on Amazon and find a case for a Tab S8 Ultra, and save you some money. But they don't sell nearly as many tablets as they do phones. And this is a perfect example. Now, I'm not singling out Samsung. All these companies do that. iPhone. We told, was it yesterday or the day before? 6 years in a row with this design. 6 years in a row. But each one is a little, just a little different. Just enough to where the case will not fit on the previous models. And they do that to try to get some extra money out of you by selling cases. Oh, the case, looks similar, yeah, but the case won't fit, so you gotta buy all new accessories. So that's exactly why they do that. But let's see here. How's it going, Hassan? Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. And let's see. Now, before we get out of here, I got an update from HP. We just joined the HP. We had just joined, or excuse me, we were accepted into the HP partner program, and I got informed that they sent a rather really nice laptop for us to review. Now, that laptop was already shipped. Let's see, it's going to be here, I believe, tomorrow or the next day. Yeah, this is a really, really cool laptop. So if you're unaware, well, this is a brand new model, brand new laptop. This is the HP OmniBook Ultra Flip. HP OmniBook Ultra Flip. Now it will have the new Intel Core i7. Now this is the 2nd gen. This is the one that is going to compete with the best of the best when it comes to the ARM CPUs. So this is technically the new Intel Core 2nd gen 7. Is actually an x86 based CPU, but it's focused on AI, and it's really, really powerful. It actually has better TOPS, which is an AI term used for measure performance. I believe this new HP OmniBook Ultra Flip has 47 TOPS, and the very best Snapdragon X Elite machines, they do for like 45 TOPS. It's like trillion processes per second, something like that. So this is a very, very powerful, I believe it's a 14-inch to 2-in-1. It's got all the bells and whistles now. I've been informed this has 32 gigs of RAM. So I'll be very, very excited. It says it's in Memphis, so it's probably going to take another day or two to get here. But definitely looking forward to that. We're going to review some more PCs, mini PCs. I have an Android TV box. I'm going to finish the review for that tomorrow. And be on the lookout for an Ultra Glass screen protector review for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Uploaded the video. Going to publish it here once I'm done with this. So be on the lookout for that. This has the screen protector on there. The screen protector, the Ultra Glass screen protector, it's amazing. It's probably the best one I've ever, honestly. They sent it free of charge just in return for a review. You can't even tell there's a screen protector on here. I mean, I'm honestly shocked. Like, this is probably, and y'all know I do a lot of case reviews and a lot of screen protector reviews. This probably is the best one I've ever reviewed. The Ultra Glass. No BS. 100% honest. It's flawless. It's like there's nothing on here. Feels like the real deal. Looks like the real deal. You don't even know it's on. After I installed it, I was like, damn, is it on the screen? Yeah, it sure is. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to release it here in just a few minutes. So I do appreciate the time. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. But as always, thank you. I really appreciate it for the view. And hope you have a good, enjoyable, but safe afternoon. And as always, I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.